I have a manifestation success story I want to share with you where I turned rejection into the most perfect manifestation without really lifting a finger. I'm going to tell this story in a way that you can take the formula and apply it to your own manifestations, and there's so much to take away from this story. One of the things is rejection. I know that there are a lot of people who get rejected and they take it as final, as there's nothing to do, which I sort of did here. It was in the beginning of my journey. I will tell a little bit more about that in the video. And there is about taking action or not taking action, as in this case. And also for those of you who just have no idea how your manifestation could possibly happen in the physical reality, this is also one of those where I literally didn't know how it was going to manifest, but I gave it a try. And when you apply the techniques and you do it correctly, it's going to work. It can't not work. So, and I'm going to tell you what the situation was. I'm going to tell you how I manifested my desired outcome and how it unfolded. It's very simple, and this is one of those success stories. I have shared other of my success stories where I manifested these things in such a simple way without overcomplicating it. And that is usually where it works the best. And I always say on my channel that we want to keep it simple. There's no reason to overcomplicate anything in your manifestation, and you will see in a moment why. So welcome to my channel. My name is Anna, and I'm a manifestation coach. I teach the law of assumption on this channel the way it was taught by Neville Goddard. So if that's what you are looking for, you are definitely in the right place. So please subscribe and stay for more. And if you need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer coaching. The link is in the description box below. I offer both one-on-one coaching and group coaching. And if you have any question about those, you are welcome to ask me in the comments. I'll make sure to answer all your questions. So this was in the very beginning of my journey, or actually a couple of years in, where I had just started to sort of figure out how this thing works. I wasn't there yet, but I was starting to sort of get it. And I had just moved, by the way, this was probably like 12, 13 years ago, I think. A lot of time. And I had just moved to this new apartment, and I was new. They're both in the town and in this building, and I sort of needed internet. I figured out by accident, actually, that my neighbor's internet was getting to my apartment just fine. There was the full signal, etc., and there was a code on it, of course, which is completely normal. So I thought I will ask them to share the internet, and of course we share the payment. Why would they say no to that? I'm going to pay half of their Wi-Fi, and they're not home most of the time. So why would they say no? So without thinking so much about it, I met the wife a few days later, and I didn't know them. I didn't know anyone. And she knew I was the new neighbor, and we sort of started talking randomly. Hi, how are you? Like, I know you're new here, etc. And I don't remember how this happened. Again, it was like more than 12 years ago. I think I decided to just ask her if they would mind sharing the internet, and we share the payment, and of course I was going to pay half of it. And she was very nice, but she said, oh no, I don't think my husband will ever agree to that. So and that was it, like the end of discussion. It was their internet. of course, they would decide whether or not they want to share with a new neighbor they didn't even know. But anyway, so I thought, fine, but I still needed Wi-Fi in my apartment. And I really, really didn't want to go through the so-called trouble to go down to the shop and figure out what internet to choose, the connections, etc. It was too much work for me, and I didn't even have the time. And since I was quite new to manifestation and things had sort of started to click for me, I thought, let me see if this is something that I can manifest. Again, I was new to this. I didn't know what was possible, what was not. I don't even remember if I had manifested anything consciously before this. It was more like, let me try and see what this thing does. And so I started affirming, I have Wi-Fi. I do have Wi-Fi. And then I thought, because they say your mind can manifest anything. So let me push this to the next level and affirm that I have free Wi-Fi in my apartment. And I had absolutely no idea how that was ever going to happen, because in my mind, if you have Wi-Fi, you pay for it, just like you pay for everything else. This was, again, in the very beginning. I didn't have this complete belief in the infiniteness of my imagination. I was still learning. So I thought, what's the worst that can happen? If this manifests, wonderful. If not, I'm going to figure something out. So I started affirming that I have free Wi-Fi. I have free Wi-Fi, and I would just affirm that whenever it came to mind. Now, something that you must take away from this is that I didn't contradict the affirmation. Yes, it wasn't one of those big things where you're very emotionally involved, which can be challenging. But your subconscious mind works the same way, whether you're manifesting free Wi-Fi or free cup of coffee or your future partner or the huge career that you're dreaming about. It all works the same for your subconscious mind. You need to affirm or state your desire as if it's already true and not contradict it. So I had no idea how that was ever going to happen, so I was just giving it a try. So I was just affirming, I have free Wi-Fi. I have free Wi-Fi. A week or two later, I meet this same lady again downstairs, and she was again very, very nice, and we got into talking again. She said, you're here, you're new here, we haven't really had a chance to talk. If you ever need anything, let us know, because we were literally next door neighbors. And I just randomly said again, by the way, thinking that she'd remember, I said, and actually what I need currently is Wi-Fi. And I don't remember if I asked her again if they wanted to share it. Maybe I did. There is a chance that I again asked if you could share the Wi-Fi, it would be a huge help for me. She said, let's go upstairs and I'll introduce you to my husband and we can talk about it. So we went upstairs. Her husband came out. She said, this is our new neighbor, etc. Hi, how are you? And she said she needs internet. And he immediately went, yeah, we have Wi-Fi. You can just get the code. I said, wonderful. And please also let me know how much you pay for it so that we can share the payment. And they both went like, no, you just get the code and you just use the Wi-Fi, because it doesn't make any difference for us whether there's one more or one less device using the same Wi-Fi. We're not even home most of the day, so it doesn't matter. And I kept insisting in like, no, this isn't fair, actually. I'm going to use your Wi-Fi and pay half of it. They were like, no, no, because it really doesn't make any difference for us. And if you need anything else, just let us know. and we became really good neighbors, and they have been very, very nice and kind and helpful. Every time I've ever needed anything that a neighbor could help me with, they've always been there. And I used to bake cakes for them and stuff like that. And we really had a good friendship type of relationship. And I stayed in that apartment for, I think, 2.5, 3 years. And for all that time, I have used their Wi Fi without any mention of payment. And that was my manifestation. So everything sort of unfolded quite quickly, also. I didn't contradict my affirmation, and that is the big, most important thing that you need to pay attention to on your in your affirmation manifestations, not just affirmations. And everything just unfolded very naturally. We got into that conversation very naturally, and I didn't force anything. I usually don't do anything that is forced that I feel off, so it all just happened. And this is also a good proof that everyone that will move and or change their opinion so that you get your manifestation will do so. All you need to do is to work on your stories, on your beliefs, on your assumptions, on the stories you tell yourself, and things will happen. And I highly recommend just focusing on that instead of figuring out how to do stuff in the 3D. I have videos where I explain that you, like, physical action is not part of conscious manifestation at all. I will, by the way, link the playlist of physical action, about physical action, in the description. You can check that out. And this was the story I wanted to share with you. I remembered this story during a conversation I had with my friend the other day. Actually, I had completely forgotten about this. I thought, oh my goodness, I had manifested this. And this was one of the very conscious manifestations where I still didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. For quite some time after this, I was still figuring it out, what to do, what not to do. This sort of happened half knowing what I was doing, half questioning everything, like, will this work, will this not work, how is this ever going to manifest, and stuff like that. It's now that I remember back, it was the perfect way of manifesting. You affirm, you keep persisting, and you don't contradict your affirmations, and you also don't go forcing the 3D to move. And then things will just happen. In my other success stories, by the way, I again have a playlist that I will link in the description box below. In my other success stories that I have shared, I used visualization. Here I used affirmations, just again to tell you that it's the same what technique you use. Sometimes, with some things, with those other manifestations that I have shared, visualization was the most logical thing to do there. Here, I wouldn't know how to visualize, for example, having free Wi-Fi in the apartment. That, like, when you don't know how to visualize something, you know how to affirm it. So keep persisting in your desired end goal, whether you're affirming, visualizing, having inner conversations, whatever you're doing in your mind, and it will happen. The most important thing, again, I can't repeat this enough, don't contradict it. Just don't contradict it. Sometimes it's challenging, but still don't. Figure out a way to not contradict your end goal, end state, end statement, etc. And if you need any help with your manifestations, if you're going through anything challenging that you need help with, once again, I do offer coaching. Check the link in the description box below. Have a beautiful day and see you in the next video.